Hey, I'm Andrika, and welcome to Tea Time.
So now, 2022, I moved to North Carolina, and in January, Richie was telling me, you sound and look pretty sick. You need to go to the hospital. I'm thinking, I'm gonna spend the money in a hospital. And so then all my roommates, which there were five of us, so four of them came up and said, you need to go to the hospital or we're going to call an ambulance to take you to the hospital. And I was like, I don't want to go to a hospital. And then I started crying. That should have told me something right there, because I was all out of sorts. And I'm sitting on the floor crying. And I said, okay, let's go to the hospital. We get to the hospital, I have COVID. And not just COVID, I have COVID pneumonia. So it's 3 weeks I was in the hospital while they cured me and everything was fine. And so I had a doctor's appointment. When I got to the doctor, they said, you look kind of funny. They said, we can't let you in because there's something that's not right with you. We can't let you in with this COVID stuff going on, but we need you to go ahead and go to the hospital. And I was like, wow. So I go to the emergency room, and I think I wake up a day later. What happened was they put me in a coma for 8 days because I was losing 2 quarts of blood in my intestine per day. And they couldn't figure out where the tear was what was going on, but they were replacing the 2 quarts of blood. One of the doctors said they were only supposed to do it 3 days, but they did it for 8. And he was the one that pressed that they keep doing it. He said, this man's gonna live and not die. I have been in the hospital for, at this time, it was day 8. And I wake up and I think, okay, I'm ready to go home. And they said, nope, so you are not the same. And so when I went to the hospital, I think I weighed, I was at 275, and when they were about to release me from the hospital, I was 174 pounds. In the 8 days and the 2 weeks after that, I had to stay in the hospital to get my strength back. And then, Lord had been telling me, you will live and not die again. And so I didn't know the testimony until a month after I got out of the hospital. I had my friends, Michael Bell, Mike Farnoli, John Stevens, Richie Ruiz, and Bill Callahan. And Michael Bell was the one that grabbed me and said, let me tell you what happened to you while you were in the hospital. He said, they called and told your parents to come and make last rites because you weren't supposed to make it. And so Michael Bell said he prayed, John Stevens said he prayed, Mike Farnoli said he prayed, I had church prayer, my family was praying. And so I hadn't, for a week, I hadn't moved, hadn't done anything. And so Mike Farnoli came to me, and on the days I woke up, he had been praying, and he had just got that absolute prayer of, Lord, you got to do something for my brother, wake him up. And that's when I took a breath. And then the next day I woke up. And so Mike Farnoli was asking the nurse, did you do anything to help him at all? And the nurse said, no, we haven't done a thing. And he said, but you told me, he wasn't supposed to make it. And they said, that's what we thought too. But it all turned around when he woke up. And he said, well, that's the Lord. The Lord really worked it all out. And Ricky, you will live and not die and declare the word of the Lord in the land of the living. The only thing that I have to add is that the Lord gave me a dream, and He told me, He says, Ricky, I'm with you. He says, but the things that you've done and have gone through, they are quite different. And He says, I like what I'm doing with you. So let's keep going. And I said, Lord, let's keep going. So I'm still here, and let's just see what the Lord does. Thank you.
Yes, let's keep going. I know we're telling Ricky's death testimonies, but this phrase may be the testimony of his life. He just keeps going. Despite all the stuff he's been through, he just keeps going. Acts 20:24 says, "However, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace." Ricky's doing just that, and I know he will be a witness of God's grace and mercy until he goes on to glory. Now that was Ricky's testimony of his resurrections from his point of view. Next time, I hope you'll come back so you can hear the testimony from a different perspective. But until then, thanks for joining me for tea time today. I'll see you next time with another one.